Hello, pile number one. Today we are here with you because we are going to ask a question. What is the lesson that you are now learning? So what is the spiritual lesson that you are now learning at this time? This is something that will reflect what you are going through at this moment, and we are going to see why. We are going to see what is the spiritual lesson, what you are going to learn from it, what the universe, divine, God wants to teach you through this. So we are going to firstly choose our tarot cards, and then we are going to choose some oracle cards, and we are going to dive into your reading, pile number one. I hope that you feel okay today and that you are in the mood for this quite complex topic, because many times we don't understand why some things are happening to us, and we are wondering why us, why we have to go through something, and so on and so on. We are confused because sometimes we don't think that some things are fair or that we should go, through them. And sometimes we are confused because we did so much good to other people, and some things that are coming back to us happens to be not reciprocal, or maybe not on the same level. So sometimes we are confused and we don't know why also that is happening. In other words, what we did to deserve what is going on. Because that is how we are, that is how our mind instinctively goes into that direction of questioning, which is normal. And now we are going to ask this question to discover what lesson, what spiritual lesson we are learning at the current moment. So this could be something that could been there for some time now, and you're still now there in that phase. And it could be something which is freshly there, that came recently. However, we are going to now explore a little bit more about that. I think I'm going to pull one more card so that we have matching number of cards. Somehow I feel that will be something that will be natural, more natural. So let's go through your reading, pile number one. With this Two of Wands, Three of Wands, Nine of Swords, Hermit, Emperor, grace, healing of the heart, unity, growth through silence, and own your words. We are going to connect everything that it is going on, and we will try to do it through time. So with Two of Wands, we can see that you have been exposed to some kind of challenge where you had to bring some kind of decision. And we see this, we see that there is something that you already have, and there is something that you want to have. And it is almost like you have to choose whether to stay with what you have, or you will have to go to something else. And this was the test that was brought to you so that you could test your grace. Why grace? Because grace, in a way, is a trait that people who are very aware of the values around themselves, together with the values of themselves, have. So through this situation where you had to really bring this decision, whether to move to something else or to stay with what you have, your grace was being tested. In other words, what was being tested is, are you valuing what you have, and are you aware of what is out there? And it was a quite big test, as we can see, because we feel that the decision was very hardly made this. However, what you learn through this situation is that you stayed with the values that you already have, and you learn how to nurture them. You understood that what is out there is unknown, and uncontrollable, while what is here we can see and we can control in a way that we can nurture. And you protected your own grace through this process. You were also tested by being put in the situation with these Three of Wands, where you had to explore more than one thing. This could be connected with the work. This could be connected with the work, or this could be connected also with some kind of maybe groups of people or hobbies, different hobbies, and there were three of options there. And this was not like this decision where you had to choose one of the three. This was more like choosing your own direction. I could say that this was a moment when you needed to choose or pick which profession you are going to pursue, which job you're going to accept or reject, or within the personal life, with what friends you are going to hang out and what you are going to a little bit move out. It seems like some kind of period of cleaning, removing things that are not anymore suitable and appropriate, and at the same time choosing the pathway for yourself that you think that you need to follow. And with this situation, you have been tested because your heart was not on the right place at that moment, and it was very hard for you to choose for yourself. You had to go deeply in tune into your intuition, deep into yourself, into your mind, into your soul, into your heart. And what you learned actually is that when you heal your heart and when your heart is good, then also the clarity of those things around you becomes much brighter, much stronger. You have a sense and feeling of perspective, where you need to go, why you need to go there, with whom you need to hang out, with whom you don't need to hang out, and so on. But what you learned from this test was that everything starts within your heart. Basically, that intuition and that feeling of being certain in that direction of your pathway is rooted in the heart. With this situation here, where we see Nine of Swords, you had a situation where you have been overwhelmed with something very heavy. Very heavy. It seems like you have been overburdened. Many things were on your back. We can see many obligations, many things that were pressing you at the same time. This could be connected with family or work or relationships, but I see that maybe it is even everything at the same time. It is one of those moments when we just want to pull out from the world and we just want to be alone because everything is just too loud. And with this siren here constantly, you know, we have a feeling like the sound that it is going out is extremely loud and annoying, because the person here is covering the ears. It cannot listen anymore. So we feel like you have been in the moment where you just needed to disconnect from everyone and everything. And it is because in your mind it was too chaotic. It was too many things at the same time. And you have been going through this challenge because Divine was teaching you what is unity. What is unity? And unity is acceptance of everything else, regardless of our own preferences. In other words, even when you are burdened with millions of things, it is not other people's fault. And even when you have so many obligations that you cannot cope, again, still, there are so many people around you that love you and support you, and that they are not your enemies. They are not on that other side that want to bring you any kind of harm. And through this period, you had to learn, first of all, that you are not alone, and that isolating yourself from absolutely everyone is not healthy, it's not good, because it is distracting you from that feeling of being part of community, of family, of people around you. And you learned in a very hard way that the unity has its beauty, that people that support you and love you have their role, and that you should not isolate yourself from everyone when the things like this come, because those people who are there around you will be the one who are going to actually help you to go through this. And it will be much more smoother and much more easier than if you are going through it alone. With this Hermit here, you had a phase, maybe even that came after this phase, because it is very connected and logical, where you, after this overburdening yourself, you decided to isolate yourself and to simply little bit move from the people, from the friends, from the family, from the society, from work. You decided to go in and to work on your inner feeling, inner mind. But you understood that more silent you are, and this was the lesson that was being taught here, that the inner truth is actually silent truth. You see, growth through silence. You have been receiving a lesson that the right path for you and the right feelings for you and the right thinking for you will come along if you silence everything else, and if you just silence everything else, and if you go deep inside of yourself in that silence. Silence actually gives you the most answers and the most beautiful advices. And this phase was maybe not chosen by you. Maybe you were being isolated from others, by others as well. And this is something that for some people can be very hard and heavy, because they feel that they don't belong then, that they are rejected, that they are alone, and they very hardly cope alone. However, this lesson was there to teach you that you alone are very powerful, pile number one. And that you can, in that loneliness, because it is not loneliness, it is a solitude. There is a big difference between those two words and meanings. So you learned that the loneliness is not same as solitude, and that solitude has its worth by giving you the opportunity to grow through silence. So this is what you learn from this. And with this emperor, you have been put in a position where you had to decide about very major big things, which maybe included other people. It could be some kind of project. Maybe it could be also within the work, or it could also be within the relationship where you had to bring some kind of big decisions about your future, or future of your partner, or future of your kids, depending what is your situation, life situation. However, you had this role where you had a big responsibility, and you were the one who needed to bring some kind of decision for somebody, not only for yourself, but for somebody else as well. And what you have been taught here is that own your words, so dignity. Divine was teaching you how to be persistent in what you are saying and what you are doing. So this was a very beautiful lesson where you had opportunity to learn, thanks to this situation, how to be consistent, walk the talk, you know, to say something and then do what you said. And I can see that you accomplish it very well. Actually, all of these lessons here you accomplished, pile number one. And that is why we are doing this reading today, so that you can aware this self-work, that it is sometimes even happening in the background and we are not aware of it. We have a feeling like we didn't do much, or we have a feeling like nothing special happened in some kind of period of time. But actually, so many things are happening all the time. It is like data, background data in the phone, that it is all the time processing something, whether we see it or not, but something is all the time happening. So this is a reminder for you, pile number 1, that all of those things that were maybe challenging recently or are happening even now, some of them, are going to bring beautiful fruit at the end, and beautiful lessons. This is why we are going through those kind of things, so that we would learn, but that we would also grow into something big and into something beautiful. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. It was very beautiful reading, very deep and beautiful reading. I hope that it brought clarity to you. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe, like or share, or comment. I love to read your comments. And for those who are following me, thank you again for being here with me. I really love reading your comments, and I love to see you around. Have a beautiful day or evening wherever you are, and see you soon, pile number 1. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. We are here today to talk about your spiritual lesson. So we're going to talk about your spiritual lesson in this period of time. This could also be a period that already passed recently, or something that you are still going through. And we are going to firstly put some tarot cards, and then we are going to place also oracle cards. We are going to talk about what you have been learning from these lessons, and why these things are happening to you. Because that is the question that we usually ask ourselves when we are in some kind of challenging moment. We ask ourselves why we are going through this. What happened that we need to go through this? And we usually ask ourselves what we need to learn from that. Because it is almost like we feel if there is a purpose of something, that then it will be much easier to go through it. At least majority of people feel like that. And that is exactly why we are doing this reading right now. Pile number 2, to discover what lessons you have been learning, or you are still learning right now at the moment. Let's place these cards and let's see what you received. I will just push them a little bit above so that we have everything in focus. So we are going to open them all, then we will go one by one to see what is going on there. We see 7 of Wands, the Fool, the World, 5 of Cups, and the Ace of Wands. We see become whole, healing, joy with the Fool, responsibility, light, and purity. Beautiful. So pile number 2, let's start with your beautiful reading. With this 7 of Wands, you have been experiencing a situation where you felt very alienated. I think that is a good word. When you feel that like you don't fit, you don't belong somewhere. You find yourself in the situation where you are somehow different than others. And you just didn't felt okay. You were feeling very uncomfortable. You had a feeling like everyone is watching you, like everyone is watching you in the way that you don't belong there. And you felt like that because you are different from that ambient. You were different from that ambient. And it just didn't felt right for you. It was very uncomfortable. You felt, again, that deep feeling of not belonging. It hurts. That type of situation, when we feel like that, it hurts. It feels like, where do we belong? You know, like we don't belong anywhere. And sometimes we have exactly that feeling. So that situation that was brought to you was there because Divine was teaching you something. It was teaching you that you need to become whole to heal. What that means and how it is connected exactly with this situation. The thing is that when we feel this certain feeling, when we are among the group and we feel like we don't fit in, We feel like that because we don't feel whole inside. We feel like something is missing in ourselves. Because we feel like we are not good enough or same like others or on same level or we are different. We are the one who are excluding ourselves actually. I know it is very hard to understand that because we always feel that the injustice is happening from outside and that we are not the one who are sabotaging this surrounding that it is doing that to us. However, the truth is that if we would have that confidence and if we would have that self-value and self-worth, and if we would be so sure in ourselves and that we are perfectly fine and perfectly normal and perfectly great how we already are, then we would never experience this kind of situation. Because we would be so sure in ourselves that this kind of thoughts or feelings would not even arrive there. So this lesson was there to teach us that we have to become whole. That means that we need to heal part of us to become whole. There is a part of us that it is not whole, that needs to be healed, so that we could gain this self-confidence and in this kind of situation pull out the best. With this full card, we see also the joy. With this full card, we have been put into a position where we decided to blindly follow something that we didn't have any kind of proof. Is it going to work or not? Almost like a gambling. It is following some kind of instinct, but not even instinct, more like a vision, more like imaginary vision that we have created, like a mental picture, mental idea that we have created within ourselves, that we decided we are going to follow it, we are going to go for it. We don't know is it going to be okay or not, but we are going to follow it and we are going to risk. You know, we are going to risk, then we will see. This situation and this challenge and that decision to do something like that brought so much joy. This was the lesson that taught you that sometimes in that unknowing things and not knowing things and doing things without knowing them, having faith, I would say, having faith, blind faith, that everything is going to work out perfectly fine. That brought so much joy, and the lesson was there because it had to teach you that joy can come from the sources that we hope the less, we don't even see coming. So sometimes we have to risk to gain something very beautiful. With this world here, with this world, you have been in the situation where you have connected yourself with many people worldwide. It could be connected with work, it could be connected with relationships as well, it could be connected with travels. However, this situation brought variety of people and cultures, or maybe multicultural thing, which included many different languages, where you needed to cope with that and with communication with many people. In other words, opening yourself worldwidely, and it could involve the internet. Most probably it is connected with internet, because this globe is usually that internet icon as well, and it is very, I feel like there is a connection with internet. So it could be something connected with work over internet, or it could be something connected with any kind of activity made over internet. And what I see is that there were so many things suddenly, like so many people, you see, so many fish in the sea. So many people. Maybe you had to guide people, or maybe you need to manage people, or maybe you need to teach people. I don't know. However, something happened connected with that. Remember that this is general reading, so I'm trying to connect all of the energies at this moment. There are many of you, and everyone has individual story. So we are trying to do it in the best possible way. So this situation taught you the lesson of responsibility, pile number 2. Because with great power comes great responsibility. You already heard that quote. And the thing is that it is beautiful to have so many people around, and it is beautiful to have maybe even the status of the power to managing people. However, that really brings a lot of responsibility, because that means that you are responsible for everyone there. They're not just a group that it is there. You are really responsible for everyone. Pile number 2. This lesson was brought to you because you needed to learn this through this happening. Moving to 5 of Cups, we can see that, wait, let me just remove my hair. So with this 5 of Cups, with 5 of Cups, we can see that you have been going through some kind of disappointment. I would say that this disappointment was, you had big hope that something is going to happen. You see, we see this light in the distance. However, whatever you hoped for didn't happen, and you experienced this this grief, this disappointment, this inner feeling, like you really trusted that it is possible, but then at the end you realize that some things are really not possible, maybe at this moment, and that brought you so down. You felt so down. You felt like you don't have energy for anything. You just wanted to. You just wanted to be by yourself. You just wanted to mourn that feelings, those feelings. And I can see that somebody was there with you. Somebody was there with you, comforting you, being beside you all the time, holding your hand, like we see this beautiful hug. Somebody was there in this story. It could also be for some of you that the disappointment didn't come to you, but to someone else that you really, really love a lot and care a lot about, and that you were the one who was comforting this person in this situation. So it could also be 2 groups here. This situation came because, look how beautiful this reading is, because it was teaching you the light. So we see this beautiful light here, and we see here the light. It cannot be more synchronized, pile number 2. I love these kind of situations when things are so clear that they are really, really clear, very clear. What you needed to learn, that there is always light in the background. There are always, you see, those 2 cups still are there, full. So when we lose something and when something bad happens to us and we experience the feeling of disappointment, we always have to immediately turn on the light, that it is going to light the other part of the story. And the other part of the story is that not everything is lost. There are things that we lose, but there are things that we keep. And it is always like that. There is a balance of those kind of things. That is how this world is made, because it is never fully black or fully white. There is always a combination of energies and combinations of things. So in this situation, that was painful and it was not easy to go through. You learned how to keep that inner light on, how to not lose hope for the bigger things, just because some things didn't went how you wanted or how you hoped. You learn that light is so strong that eventually it will lighten up everything else, that it will lighten up what you have, that it will lighten up and bring you another hope, another thing that you can lift, that you can follow, that you can hope for. It is not the end. With the light, there is no end. And this was a beautiful lesson that came to you, pile number 2, connected with this painful disappointment. Now, moving to this Ace of Wands, we can see this beautiful Ace of Wands. It is so powerful in this deck. You can see how it is burning, basically burning, bursting with energy. This was the situation in your life when you felt extremely, extremely powerful, and you had that accelerating energy to start something which is very, very, very important to you, but you are passionate about it. You're passionate. It is not only like work, like something you want to start, something that... This can be a relationship, but this can also be a work, it can be project, it can be something that lifts you up, that makes your heart sink. Something that is really, really, you know, full of that fiery energy that we can see here. And you had this opportunity to felt all of these feelings. And why that happening came? Why this happened? Because it taught you that even in those kind of moments of ecstasy, total ecstasy, when we lose the mind, when we totally go off, cuckoo, you know, we lose it, we still need to keep the purity. Because some people, when these kind of situations appear in their life, they do everything, they put aside, I would say, their moral and ethics and feeling of obligations, and they just follow their own passion, not taking care who they ran over on their way, and not taking care how much this costs them or others to be manifested. So these kind of situations are beautiful and they are really special. However, they bring with themselves certain tests. And one of those tests here being taught was to keep the purity of action. So no matter, like I said, the ecstasy, the rush, the feeling of craziness inside, you have been tested to keep the purity of your action, to stay devoted to your values, not to go off the road, not to do the wrong thing, not to pursue the wrong thing, to stay on the right pathway and still keep that feeling of, I would say, this initial spark of something being born. Either it is a new relationship or a new project or new work or something else that it is really, really making you happy. So you see, pile number 2, so many things you have been through, and sometimes we have a feeling like life is just going and nothing is happening, but however, that is absolutely not true. Things are all the time happening, things are all the time processing in the background, and we can see how many beautiful lessons you learned from the recent happenings and the happenings that are maybe happening even now at this time. I hope that this reading brought clarity to you, and it is very wonderful reading, I must say. I really enjoyed it. If you are new, please subscribe, like, share. I really, really would appreciate your support. And for the ones who are already following me, I want to say deeply thank you for being there. I love seeing you around, and I read your comments with a happiness. I wish you all the best wherever you are, and see you soon, pile number 2. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. Today we are here because we are asking the question about your recent lessons. So what we want to do with this, we will ask a question: what lessons have been learned or still are being learned at this moment? Spiritual lessons, of course. And we are going to ask this because there are so many happenings that are coming and going, and we are sometimes so confused about why we are going through those kind of things. Some things are easy to connect, but some things we ask ourselves, did we really deserve this? Do we really need to go through that? Or, you know, we are asking ourselves questions like, why me? Why this is happening to me? Why now? Why this is happening now? And so on and so on. So we will try to bring a little bit of clarity with this beautiful reading that I'm sure that it's going to be rich with information to you, to see what is going on, and to aware lessons being learned. Okay, so these are your cards, pile number 3, and let's see what you received. So let's open your cards. You have the Sun, King of Swords, Justice card, Knight of Pentacles, and 10 of Cups. Wow. Pile number 3, this reading is very beautiful, very specific, little bit different than others, I must say. So we have personal symbol, your own soul key, growth through silence, grace, go with the flow, and harmony. Okay, I will a little bit adjust this so that we have everything under control visually. And we can dive into your reading, pile number 3. So, the Sun. I can see that you have been in the situation that was very, very favorable. Very positive, very favorable. You had the privilege to share this situation with somebody that you care a lot, and somebody that you love, and somebody who is there with you very often. Somebody who is a very important part of your life. I can tell you that this situation was filled with fortunate elements. So things that you didn't even thought that could happen, they happened. And it was like a feeling like everything is going your way, everything is going your way, everything is going how you want. Almost like you imagine something and that happens. Incredible luck, incredible you know, easy goingness of the situation. And you have been in that, you have experienced that moment here. And you experienced it because the lesson that needed to be learned from it, that is that, you see, the personal symbol, your own soul key. So the lesson was that when we unlock the soul, when we detect what is the key, that unlocks our soul. And that means when we detect what we truly want and what we truly love and what we truly need. Because sometimes people, many people think that they want something. And then when they get that, nothing changes. Nothing changes. Everything stays the same. They thought that when they will come to that point to have that, for example, some people want a big house, big car, good cars, something. When they get to that point when they can buy the house, they realize that it didn't make them any happier than before. Actually, they have even more responsibility with cleaning the house and taking care of the house and so on and so on. Then they have to hire more people to help them to take care of the house and so on and so on. And then at the night, the house is big and empty and they feel lonely and so on and so on. I'm just blabbering, but you get my point, pile number 3. The thing is that sometimes we want something and we don't actually want that. We think that we do, but we don't. And when we unlock the real potential of our soul, when we are really, really aware what we want, and that is in balance in what we really want, so it's not a trick, it is the real thing, then this kind of happening starts flowing in our life. Incredibly fortunate happenings. It's like everything is going your way. So the lesson being here, being learned here was to recognize that when you find the key and unlock your soul, everything is going your way. With King of Swords here, we have been in the situation where we had to, you were placed in the position where you had to say the truth, no matter how brutal that truth was. And I now cannot say exact situation. I can just say that you were placed in that position where it was very important what you are going to say. And it was very hard to make the decision to say the truth. You had to really emancipate yourself from the thinking of what other people are going to think and how things are going to end after that. And you really had to bring the decision to be honest and brutal and just cut the chase and say the truth. And this was some kind of situation that could also involve, like I said, family member or a lover or somebody who is at work. You know, it could be also a conversation with a colleague or a boss. But there was a situation where it was required for you to say the truth. It was very hard. And it was not easy for you to be in that position, pile number 3. But you did it. And you did it. The lesson that was being learned, and look at these beautiful synchronizations of blue colors, which is also a blue chakra, throat chakra, which always show us the pathway towards the expressing the truth, saying the truth. It is incredible how it came synchronized perfectly here. And we see growth through silence. So what we learn here is that when we, within ourselves, know what is right and what is truth, then we need just that little kick to push it out and to spread it around. That is the right way of behaving. That is the right way of acting. We should not talk if what we talk is not truth. And we should not keep within ourselves the truth. Truth needs to go out. Truth needs to be free. This is the natural flow of the world. This is how the universe, the God, the divine made everything. The truth needs to flow. And if we keep the truth, through time we have problems. If we don't speak the truth, we have problems. So this situation was brought to you because you needed to learn this lesson. With the Justice card, you have been placed, maybe that was the similar situation or part of this. You needed to judge something. You needed to weight something very, very well. Like it could be that in that situation you had to decide or bring your decision who is right between two people. Or to bring decision, did somebody did something or they didn't do something. Or to bring decision, is it fair to allow something to happen or not to allow something to happen? The combinations are endless. And this is a general reading, so please have that in your mind, that there are many of you here, and we can only read the energies when we are doing personal readings. Here, we read all of you, so please have that on your mind, pile number 3. That is why I'm always talking about options. So this situation where you had to weigh things, where you had to decide about something and decide what is right and what is wrong and how you should do, should you do it like this or should you do it like that? What is more fair? What will bring the justice? This was happening mostly in your mind. We see that this brain pattern here, it shows us that it was a mind process and you had a long struggle of deciding what is right and what is wrong here. And it brought the lesson of grace. Why grace? Because grace is teaching us to recognize the values of what we have and what is out there, the values of ourselves, but also the values of people around ourselves. And to bring this decision, you had to really deeply go into the root. You had to examine these situations or these people very deep so that you could bring, fair decision at the end. And this is where this situation, your grace have been tested. This is what was the lesson that was learned here. You realize that valuing is not only rational in nature. It contains all. It contains everything. You need to put all of the segments, all of the parts of the story so that you could bring the decision gracefully and fairly. With this Knight of Pentacles, it is a situation where you had, at one moment you had money to invest in something, to not maybe invest, maybe already have a job, maybe to improve yourself in the job that you are doing, or to improve your finances in one way or another. This is what I see. So you got some kind of opportunity where you needed to do something, maybe of innovative nature, or you needed to think how to better something, or recreate, redesign, remake, change in the better way, something that will at the end bring you more income. So if it is some kind of business, you needed to find a way, you got the opportunity where you could find a way how to rebrand it, or how to change it, or how to restructure it so that it brings more people, more money, more income. And here you have been tested and you have been taught of the lesson of going with the flow. Why? Because you understood that you cannot control all factors. You understood very well that more you control the factors and more you go rationally, into this process, less you are doing, less you are advancing, less you are progressing. And more things are coming up that are unknown and unpredictable. Like you planned something, you see, you made some kind of schedule, you're writing there, and then something pop up and totally cuts your plan. Or something else pop up and totally move your schedule. So those kind of things were probably happening at this moment, and you had to learn how to go with the flow. This was the lesson that was being taught. You had to release things and said, okay, well, we planned that it is going to go like this, but it didn't. And now we have to change the direction, and let's go and change the direction. So the lesson being learned here with all of these challenging moments was actually to learn how to go with the flow and how to cope with unexpected changes that are occurring sometimes in our life that we don't know that they are going to happen. With this 10 of Cups, this is a beautiful, beautiful energy and beautiful card where you experience fulfillment. And I'm very happy for you that these experiences are mostly positive in nature, and I'm very happy to read those kind of things for you. That is why I said it is a little bit different reading than the past two. So you came to the point where you are really satisfied with your life. You had everything. You felt like you have everything. You felt completed. You felt good within yourself. You were satisfied with yourself, your appearance, your work, your life in general. Like you have recognized that you have abundance, that you have everything that you need, even more than that, that you have plenty of everything, more than you could even need. And also, if you're in relationship, you came to the point where you were really, really satisfied within your relationship with the partner. Like that moment when you look at your partner and you say, yes, this is it. I'm happy with this person. I'm happy with them. And if you are single, then you experience the moment of bliss in the way that you just knew within yourself that this person is going to come. You just knew. Nobody needed to tell you anything. You just knew when the time comes, I'm going to have this bliss, because I'm not going to lose time or waste time or anything else. The next one that it is coming, it is that. It is my person, and it's going to be that. Everything, the package, all in one, everything that I wanted. And with this situation, what was being learned is a harmony. Why harmony? Because to be and feel abundant in life, we have to have everything in harmony. That means that it cannot be more of something and less of something else. Everything needs to be balanced. And this harmony brings the abundance. If something is not in harmony, then that abundance cannot be, because it is mutually dependent. So this happening was teaching you that things can be in harmony, and how things look when they are in harmony, and how you feel when the things are in harmony. And it is a very beautiful lesson that we can receive only from those kind of moments when we actually have that feeling of being fulfilled, of having everything on its place. Pile number 3. This is so beautiful reading. I'm very happy that I had privilege to read this for you, and I hope that it brought more clarity to you, because sometimes we feel like life is just flowing and going and nothing is going on. However, so many things are happening in the background, and all the time, non-stop, we are receiving happenings in our life that are teaching us something important and valuable. And I think that is very important to understand that, to aware that on some kind of level, so that when we ask ourselves why this is happening, so that we remind ourselves, aha, there has to be a lesson beside this, something beautiful that I'm now learning at this moment. And no matter how maybe I'm struggling now, this is going to pass like everything else, but the lesson is going to stay, and I'm going to take it with me as a reward, as a fruit. And it is beautiful. So remember also that not only bad things are happening, when they're happening, are bringing lessons, also very beautiful and positive things are bringing us lessons too. I hope that you enjoyed. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe, like, share, or comment. And for all of those who are there following me, I want to say a big thank you. I appreciate you all so much, and I love to see you around. Let's see what the next reading will bring, and I wish you a beautiful evening or day wherever you are. Have fun and see you very soon. Bye, pal number 3.